Lux in St. Louis.
Hi.
And I brought my friend Learn from KC95.
Oh my God. Hi.
I just wanted to pop on and say, hey girl, hope to see you in December. Can't wait.
Oh my gosh, can't wait. It's so good to see both of your faces. It's been far too long. And, you know, as we all know, many decades in COVID years. So
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. She and I were emailing this morning, and I sent over the video of you and Amy Lee covering Linkin Park and Heavy. And we were talking about being women in the rock industry, and you two women just really taking off and seeing where all the women are going. And I was like, Learn, you have to come in and say, hey, we got to talk women rock with Lizzie today.
Yes. That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna let you guys do your
Okay,
thing, but I
okay.
just wanted to say, hey, you're killing it on stage.
Thank
And
you
I
so
can't
much.
wait to see you again. So I'm gonna turn over to my
All
girl
right.
so you can see her gorgeous face.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
I was
She's
like,
bye. Just
I was
backing
like,
up
we
into the
got to. We got to chat women in rock, man. She and I were loving that video today, just watching
That's
it together.
awesome.
Like, man,
it's such a beautiful thing to be on this tour. And you know, Amy and I were just talking about how there's something, you know, obviously it's a different energy, but it's not just all of us girls on stage. You know, we have, you know, there's female tour managers and production assistants and all of these people, and so there's a constant giggling and laughing going on, which you know, but we're talking about how this has turned into such an important tour, and because there's a you know, a different energy, but there's a different type of power that comes with when you're sharing a stage with this person who literally knows all of the things that you had to go through in order to get here. We have very similar timelines, very similar stories, that even though we're surrounded by our male allies, there's no way, even though they were with us when all of that happened, there's no way that they can truly understand. So it's just and now just to be able to go on stage, you know, with, you know, this woman who has become one of my dearest friends, and really just show everybody that, hey guys, we made it, we did it, we're here. And there's this regality and power that comes with that, of us being on stage. So it's just such a beautiful thing.
I think it's so important that you take the moment to stop and look back at everything. And it's important for the rest of us women who've been watching. I mean, I remember the very first time I saw you guys come through, you were driving an RV.
Oh yeah.
And you played at Pops, and it was like a local show. And I remember the very first time I heard Evanescence and was like, what is this? As a female, just seeing the two of you and now seeing what's going on with the Pretty Reckless, and to finally see all of those at the top at the same time.
Yep.
And to really feel that the men are behind us too, and with us.
Absolutely.
Which is really important, especially for you guys in the beginning. I'm sure there were moments where there wasn't as many women around in order to kind of feel that camaraderie. And you did have to run in the circles where it was pretty much men only, except for you guys. So now getting to build the tour the way you guys want to, that power is something that we feel too, which is the connection between the artist and the fan.
That's so cool to hear. Yeah, man, it wasn't too long ago that not only was I, you know, the only girl on stage, but the only girl on tour. And so, you know, I blame that for me kind of having this dude bro personality. You know, I can hang with the boys.
Yes.
But yeah, it wasn't that long ago that there was just nobody out there. And so it's just so beautiful to see not only all these women on the top of the charts and kind of really proving that this genre absolutely has no gender. This is our music. This isn't our boyfriend's music. This isn't our dad. This is our music. This is our genre. And then not only us feeling that on stage, but off stage. I mean, it is completely flipped. It used to be like 60-40 male female, and now it's completely the opposite. And you see these women just like, you know, crowd surfing and singing these songs that are just such a part of their heart. And just to be a part of that whole thing is just mind blowing to me.
Tell me a little bit about how you guys have changed tours, because I know with the pandemic going on, everybody had to change the way that they do things. But I know that you guys have taken some extra steps to make sure that you don't have to cancel, which is great because December 5th, we are really looking forward to having you guys in St. Louis. So tell me what kind of sacrifices. I know you guys are making some serious sacrifices to make sure that you make it here and everywhere else you're trying to go.
Oh, absolutely. We basically have really just locked everything down. So everything backstage is a prison, and on the bus. So basically, because even on days off, nobody's going out, nobody's going to bars, no one's going to restaurants. Everybody orders in. We just kind of circle the wagons and keep everything tight. We're testing every single day. So my nose will never be the same after this tour. I'm getting swabbed every single morning.
Are you doing one nostril or two? Or do you change nostrils to like save yourself? Do you have to do them both? I don't even know how this works.
Well, we have a COVID compliance officer.
Awesome.
That we have hired her on, and or more or less just gave her that job. And so she's just, running around and just, okay, all right, no. And she gets both nostrils. She makes sure everybody's negative. And and I even as far as like visitation, now I'm really making it sound like a prison. We're, nobody's coming to visit. We're not, having random people backstage. There's none of that. So it's definitely one of the most different tours, obviously the weirdest tour that we've ever had, because usually that's a part of it. Like you get to see these people and hang out and, open up a bottle of wine backstage.
You guys are famous for heading over to the merch stand and meeting and greeting with literally every person you possibly can. I mean, I've been one of the lucky people to hang out on the tour bus afterwards. So I know this is really, really hard, but I mean, after a year of being home, I'm sure this is that you'd rather be doing it, I guess, this way.
Yeah, I'd rather be out, and it brings a whole new energy to the live show too, because that's literally my social time. So you're just soaking everything in, and you're looking at people's faces, and you're talking with the audience, and just to see everybody that has shown up. I mean, it's just been packed shows, and everybody is just wonderful, and there's nobody. The difference between this and BC before COVID is that everybody's just soaking everything in. There's nobody like on their phones. There's nobody like having conversation. Everyone's just in it on this ride with you. So that's great too. What else are we doing? Oh, also for the first time, we're doing virtual meet and greets. So we hooked up with this company, Mandolin, and it's actually become such a beautiful thing. It's more intimate than the way that we would normally do these meet and greets, where you just kind of bring everybody in like they're cattle, Yeah.
Here, you want a photo? Here, say something quick, very quick. Yeah. The next person's coming in. It's not very personal.
Yeah. So with the way that we're doing it with these virtual meet and greets, that everybody gets their individual time. We get to see their Halestorm shrines in the background. Yeah. We're getting to see everybody's bedroom. Also, one of the most beautiful things about it is that I'm talking to people from Ukraine and the Philippines and just on the other side of the world that actually we've never been to Ukraine or the Philippines. And so it was just wonderful yesterday to be able to actually have conversations with these fans that love our music, but have never gotten the chance to say hello because we've never been there. So that's really beautiful too. So it's not limited to just anybody who comes to this particular show. It's just a free for all. So, and we're doing like 100 to 150 people a day. And then we have a mediator to make sure that everyone gets like a picture, screenshot. It's really wild. But
you know what? That sounds just like the way you guys would do it. You would have it no other way. I just can't imagine a Halestorm show where the fans didn't get that kind of personal experience, because that's just the way that you guys have always been. I mean, since day one. I wonder what Detroit would be doing back there at the merch stand. If she can't be seeing and hanging out with everybody. So I love to hear that you're doing that, especially that you're able to reach farther than where you've been able to via tour, and hopes that maybe you can make it out there, on future tours as we move through PC post COVID, we're not even post, we're still during DC, during COVID. Where are we even? You know what I mean? Also, I have to say, Megan, congrats. Back from the Dead is freaking great. It's absolutely awesome. I just played it like maybe 3 minutes ago, but it's number one. It's topping the mainstream radio airplay charts, which means I'm not the only person who loves it. Everybody else does too. Are you feeling that special connection to it when you're playing it now, since you're out and about and people have been listening to it for a little bit, but now they're getting to see you do it?
Oh, it's so exciting because, you know, we haven't had new music out in so long. And so to be able to actually play it live and hear everybody sing the song and, gosh, sometimes they're louder
And the
than
first
I am,
chords
which
of it too, the way it comes out like da 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 da,
yeah.
and everyone's like, yes.
Yeah, we've been putting it in different spots in the set. The other night we put it right after RJ's drum solo, so we're all just slam into it afterward. And I think we're gonna start the set with it tonight. I can't remember what we're deciding to do, but it's just fun. And I'm telling you, it's just such a beautiful way to introduce, you know, or to precede this new album. We have it done. We literally finished the album 3 days before we left for tour. So,
Oh my God, cutting it close.
yes, that's just I think that's just the Halestorm way anymore. It's like 11th hour things. And then there were two new songs that kind of came together like right at the end when we thought everything was like wrapped, and we're like, no, now we have to do this, but we gotta go. And so it's just so beautiful. This album is absolutely a banger. It's on 11. We have really just kind of exceeded all of the energy that has come before on these albums, both technically, music wise, vocally, drum, lyric wise. We just kind of, I think because of the roller coaster ride when we were making this record, and just through the pandemic and just all of the different phases of that, it really, we could just kind of look at each other like, if the future is unknown and we don't know whether we're actually going to be like out and playing these things, everything has to be, like I said, at 11, and it's Halestorm elevated. It was kind of funny. My bass player, Josh, he was showing some new songs to his parents, and his dad is like, wow, you like really like just grabbed onto your sound. And I'm like, we have a sound? I never do now. We do now. I didn't really think about it that way before, but yeah, it's very us. It's when we did it in a different way too. We recorded it differently. This is the first time that we've ever had a dual producer. We went back with Nick Raskulinecz, and then I ended up doing my vocals with Scott Stevens from the X's. He's like a brother from another mother with me, and we've written together before, and we've known each other for probably just shy of a decade now. Wow. And he and I produced and did all the vocals for Back from the Dead with each other. Because I happened to be out in, you know, I went out to LA, and then we ended up, sending him Nick, and Nick's like, this is just absolutely amazing. We have to do every song this way. So we kind of did it differently. We ended up with the bare bones of a demo. I ended up finishing all of my vocals like Dunzo before we ended up building up the track musically. So it's kind of like building a pyramid upside down. It's like, you know, here we go. And, but it ended up really like just having this different energy, because what we were able to do with the lyrics and melody and all the vocals being done was really accentuate all of that, and all of the whatever, matching the theme to whatever I was singing about, but also just kind of really supporting the vocals musically when we went into do guitars and drums and bass. And so it's just like just so crazy. It just definitely has this very forward, very aggressive nature to it because of the way that we did that. But
I like hearing that now, having listened to Back from the Dead and hearing that and seeing where really you could place with specific guitars and bass, you can really bolster the vocals. Yeah. I think that's a really unique way to do it. The renaissance of the last year of you guys being at home seems to have flipped everything on its head, including the recording process. I'm really excited to see how this comes out. When do you guys have a date? Is there a date yet?
We don't have a date yet. We're literally like talking about that this week, because we have to there's still some things that have to be mixed, mastered and all that, but soon we'll get a date soon. Yeah, we'll get a date soon. But even before we even release it, we're definitely going to plan on sooner than that, releasing another song. We're just trying to figure out which one, because they're all great.
I think that has been so cool about, the silver linings from the last year have been watching artists release the singles in different manners than we've seen over the last 15 years, being able to pop out the songs as they feel right in the moment for the artist and within the time period has been really special, instead of just having to go, okay, well, this is the cycle that the record label wants us on, and we cannot wait for the next one. But you don't need to, we're not going to kick Back from the Dead off the radio anytime soon. So you send it and we'll just add it to the list.
You know, it was so funny when we wrote that, because it's like, that title is so, oh, duh. And I'm like, I can't believe no one has said that yet. It's like, that's literally how we felt. And we're like, this is, okay, this one has to come out first. And so, like I said, before the album was even done, we're just tossing it out there. And what is getting me so incredibly excited is that before we released Back from the Dead, I could already see where those moments were going to happen live. And now that I'm actually seeing it come into reality, I'm like, I just can't wait for everyone to listen to the album, because it's kind of all that way. I think it's just because, you know, we were in this situation where, like I said, the future was very unknown. So we had to put all of that energy that we would be doing out on tour simultaneously while we're recording a record. And we just had to use that as our outlet. So it's I don't think I've ever recorded an album like this where I can already see where everyone's going to sing, where the lighters are going to go up, where the horns are going to go up, where people are going to gravitate toward and move, you know, within the audience. It's just such a strange thing. And now seeing those exact moments that I was predicting on Back from the Dead out here on tour, I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. It's just the weirdest.
I feel like that's when you know, probably as an artist, when you're like, oh, they're feeling what I'm feeling. We're feeling this. Yeah. And that's something we just couldn't do from the virtual shows, as much as I tried to get myself into them. It's the feeling of hearing that music around other people. It's that sharing of the energy and the experience. And we're going to turn up Shavitz Arena. I mean, that's like a couple days after my birthday. Every year, every time you come to St. Louis, it's around my birthday.
Yes, we plan it that way.
Yeah, it was you guys in this moment a bunch of years back celebrating my birthday. So let's do it again. But you guys together with Amy Lee and Evanescence, I cannot wait to see what you guys do on stage together. I hope that I keep seeing you guys pop out on stage together for little bits. I saw her come out on one of your songs too. I'm like, I just hope that continues throughout the tour, because what a special, I mean, you two are just icons, absolute icons. And as a rock chick, you're moving us all forward. We're glad to go along with you, but y'all are moving us forward for sure.
Well, thank you. That's so sweet of you to say. But you know, we're all in this together. And obviously there's still a couple fights that, you know, wars that need to be won. Yep. But I feel like it's moving in the right direction. And man, just, you know, to gush on Amy too, there is something otherworldly that happens when I sing with her live on stage. And it's something that I can't necessarily put my finger on, that feeling, but I don't get that. I've done thousands of other collaborations in my life, and this is very, very special. She's obviously a phenomenal singer. That's not even cutting it. Phenomenal. But there's something that happens when we sing together because of the different personalities. It's almost like this dance that happens. And Amy has likened it to a well-matched tennis match.
Yes,
we both have that trust, because we both know that no matter what, both of us bring it. We're always on 110. And so to be able to feel that again with her after so many years of not touring together and doing this, I don't know. I think I leave my body, you know, when I'm on stage, when that happens, and all of a sudden the song's over. I'm like, wait, did I just black out? What happened?
You guys are going back and forth, and then you clicked into the harmony. I was like, oh boy, that feels so good. You know what I mean? I like the tennis match. That is exactly, I'm going to make sure that everybody gets to see the video that I got to see of you guys doing Heavy together, because it really is transportation to another level on the musical realm. So good.
Yeah, it's cool. It's neat too, because we were lobbing a couple ideas back and forth, and then all of a sudden we landed on Linkin Park, and like, you know what, that would be really cool, because inadvertently it'd be a tribute to Chester, but also you know, everything that the song is about. We've all been through that, everybody, and so it's almost this like very church moment where you walk out on stage, you're like, all right, this is my church. These are my people. We're all doing this together. So yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Thank you so much for taking the time for me today. I really appreciate it. It's been 10 years since we've seen each other in person or so, maybe 8 years. I don't, it's been forever. So 2021 is going to be our year. We're going to see each other at the very end of it.
Absolutely. Finally coming together.
Yes.
You are so wonderful. And I'm so happy to see your face. And thank you for taking the time to do this with me. This is great.
You too,
We could do this
of
all
course.
day.